With all the talk of China on TikTok these days, I don't think I've ever told a story about how I got paid mid five figures to teach the Chinese how to copy things. I've had the dumbest life. Okay, so first, I'd gone to China a bunch with HTC. I've talked about that before. I would go with Cher, their CEO, who's like a celebrity there, and she would sit down and be like 10 minutes of photo taking, and then I would sit down next to her and there'd be like 5 minutes of taking photos with us together. You think about what you do with your hands for 5 minutes while people are taking photos that isn't weird, that you don't think you're getting caught in some weird thing. You just get a dumb smile on your face and you sit there like, I think I'm decent at that. I'm decent at sitting still with a smile on my face. I'm gonna put that on my LinkedIn profile. But no, then also when I was there, like one time I had shingles and I had open blooms, which your shingles are like sore. It's painful, but I just went because I had nothing else to do and I was already in pain. But like that hotel said the water was not potable, meaning the water in the shower you cannot drink, but also made me fear about putting on my open sores, so I would then rinse myself with bottled water afterwards. That was a pretty miserable day. But again, like China's just off in that way that you don't see. I know you go on Red Note and you think it's all wonderful, but like it's just different. If you stayed at a high enough floor, your room either has a rope or a parachute or something like that hidden somewhere. At least in the fancy ones, I've seen that, like this weird parachute thing. No, I'm gonna burn. Maybe. Okay, but so I'd gone back and forth enough there that I had knew some people. And so a large mobile company, super successful mobile company, asked me to come out and talk about being creative. And I said no, because I just left Valve and I didn't feel like going back to China. It's a long trip, and I just thought it'd be miserable. And then they threw out a dollar amount, and I said, "Well, how short can I do it? Can I do it for like 2 days?" Because that's like you join the flying crew then when you do that, because that's like the quickest they can get there, and then come back to Seattle. And so you end up seeing the same crew when you do that. Because I've done that a bunch of times. And they're like, "Yes, like that much money for those few days, I will do it." So I flew out there and I gave a nice talk about being creative and stuff. And like they're super successful and like in that world, like they're a high tech company. They've got the weird perks and food and decorations in the place, just like you would see in any Western place. The one weird thing is, for all the time I've been in Beijing, only once was the air quality good enough for me to walk around in without a mask on. And twice when I was there, they actually closed the schools because the air quality was so bad. You could just smell it in the stink. So like Beijing just has a smell to me. Also, oddly enough, everything's an hour away from each other. I don't know how they designed this city that way, but no matter where we went, it was always an hour away. So okay, so I'm giving these talks and we're hanging out, and I get like one day I get to hang out with just the kids, the younger people. And there's one guy I'm just connecting with. He's like the creative director. He's funny. We don't speak a lick of like he speaks no English. I speak no Chinese, but we're making each other to laugh through translation. And it's going well. He's like, we're trying to do this thing for a marketing piece. Can you help with it? So I'm like, sure. So they want to like mimic a Western like kind of news broadcaster kind of thing, right? Like the opening with the graphic and then the hey, oh my god, breaking, and then they cut to the fire or whatever tragedy's going on. And it just didn't feel right what they were doing. And he was talking about, how do you do this? How do you do, like, you guys do some of this stuff, especially in the TF2 world. And I'm like, oh, we steal. We just copy. It's that simple. We just find the thing that has the right pacing and timing and we steal it. We don't even try to learn it. We just steal it. Because we're not stealing the content. We're not stealing the words that the people say. But so many times things just don't feel right because of the timing. And you realize like all of those things have a certain timing to them that they've just worked out because they've been doing this for 20 years. They've been doing those news broadcasts. So just mimic it and just steal it. And it was like midway through going through this and looking through whatever. I don't think it was YouTube we were on. It was something else, like looking through videos. It wasn't Yandex either, but just something. And we found some video and it was like perfect and like, just steal this, right? And he got a smile on his face and yeah, I went to China to teach him how to steal from the West. Still is the right way to do it. I will say then later I gave them a talk, not them, but at some place, some tech. I don't know, man. I don't speak Chinese. I never knew where I was showing up. Cher once introduced me as the creator of Counter-Strike, and I was like, yeah, sure. I don't know. But I did say that they should just embrace being who they are, and that's what would make them interesting to the West, not trying to ape the West because they're never going to be able to because it's always going to be off, kind of like for the thing I was talking about. So, yeah. I mean, the whole red note thing, don't pretend it's not what it is. And I got blocked by the woman on here who was trying to say that China was the most democratic nation in the world. And then I kind of pointed out some places it's not, and some kind of the words and the things you can't talk about on that app. So it's not a good substitute. Like, we want our Western values in our social media. But it's fun to go visit. It's fun to go hang out, and it's a good prank. I get that. And I actually like the Chinese people a ton and love going there to hang out with them. It's all the stuff around it. Actually, all right, a little side note. Once I'm at a dinner, I go to these weird dinners. I'm a moron. And there's like a governor of a Chinese province, or whatever their name is for governor. Again, you gotta like make it something I can understand. Across from me is a guy who owns a movie studio, one you've heard of. Like, that's who's around this table. And they're all being all serious. And I'm making fart jokes. It was a weird dinner. Super awkward, and ate a lot of things. I have no idea what. But man, when those kind of people are around the table and you're trying to act like you're a reasonable human being, and they serve you something that's like kind of mushy with some like weird tentacle thing out of it, you're just like, yeah, this is what I'm eating today. And you don't ask. Those are some weird dinners.